Yo, bro, I low-key forgot about that. I be thinking that too. I'm like, bro, like, why do they look alike? Order. Nah, this Avatar worst episode. Now, me personally, I don't think they had any bad episodes. The only two episodes I don't really rewatch is the one where Iroh like visits. Yeah, I think it's like Iroh alone. I guess where all of them are like Bossing Say or something. When they're all like in Bossing Say. Like those ones I don't really rewatch because it's filler, to be honest. And then I don't watch Iroh. I do watch Zuko alone though. That one was cool. I don't really watch the ones alone. I was gonna say Arrow, but that's actually the ones where they're in Boston Say. I don't watch the Boston Say ones.
Avatar: Last Airbender was pretty much perfect.
But everything else
These
is
are the three
fire.
worst episodes. The third one being The Swamp with a rating of 7.5. The episode starts off with Zuko and Iroh.
Okay, I could see The Swamp being a bad episode because most of I don't know how I feel about The Swamp. I feel like it has like a midpoint that you can just kind of like you definitely notice there's like a down period in The Swamp. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like I think when they all get separated, that's probably when it's the down point, I think. But and then maybe the ending is kind of like mid
The money. I have no idea
of the
what the
episode.
scene was because it's not important to the plot of the episode. But we get this funny scene and this dope song and dance from Iroh. Also, I love that this guy's being a total jerk and Iroh was just like, "What a kind gentleman."
Bro, wait, hang on. Look at this is a meme right here.
Being a total jerk and Iroh was just like,
bro, his face right here is a meme, bro. Especially when they zoom in on it.
"What a kind gentleman." Next, we see Aang and his friends flying over this creepy-looking swamp. And of course, Aang feels like the swamp is calling to him, so he suggests they go in. Everyone decides that's a terrible idea, and they start flying away. But then a huge storm comes out of nowhere, which makes Appa crash. Also, it looks like the storm literally chases Appa when he goes the other direction, so I'm not sure if this really was a storm. The gang...
Yeah, I don't know. It's never really explained what the hell that thing was.
There's only one problem, though. Aang has no idea where Appa and Momo are, which is pretty scary. Remember that one time Aang lost Appa? Dude was going crazy. And turns out Appa and Momo are about to get into a lot of...
Yeah, that was definitely after this episode when that happened.
Aang warns Sokka that he shouldn't hurt the swamp because something about it feels alive. Yeah, that's not terrifying at all. Sokka, of course, though, doesn't care and just continues to cut everything with his machete. They spend all day looking for Appa.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Sokka hard carried this episode, but he hard carries a lot of episodes for me personally. But this episode specifically, if Sokka like didn't have like his unique like ability to just be like funny without trying, like this episode would be like unbearable to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Cause remember, there's no Toph and like I don't know. These two kind of really didn't add anything to the episode because it was like not at this point at least. But nah, Sokka really hard carried this episode, but he hard carries a lot of episodes for me.
It starts getting dark quickly too, so the gang sets up camp for them.
I feel like a good show, like a good kids show, like you need to have humor, and that's probably what they don't do no more. Is you need to have humor, but like they have to like not try. Like it just naturally is funny. Like they're funny, not the things they're doing is funny. It's like they're funny. They're naturally funny, or the things they do is funny too. The things they say is funny too, but it's like natural. Whereas like nowadays, it's like a lot of the kid-ish that they be showing or whatever, or funny-ish that they be showing, like most of the time, like they're trying too hard to be funny and it's like not funny. You gotta just naturally be funny. So
friends are all out. They're sleeping until something crazy happens. The vines wrap around them and straight up drag them.
Bro, I did not know he was gonna summarize the episodes.
Separated while fighting off these crazy vines. Next, we see some interesting-looking swamp people named Tho and Do. They find Appa's huge footprints and they decide they want to eat him. So they follow the footprints. Appa and Momo are having their own little adventure, and Momo is riding Appa like a boat. Tell me how Momo almost gets eaten by a catfish alligator until Appa steps in like the good big brother he is. Anyways, this is when things in the swamp get really weird. Katara is wandering through the swamp and straight up sees a hallucination of her mom, causing her to break down into tears. Sokka also sees his ex-girlfriend turn into a literal moon, by the way.
Was that his ex-girlfriend or was it like a they were like in a talking stage, and then like she died on him right before, and then right before they were gonna start dating. Or she died on him as soon as she said they're dating or gave him a kiss or whatever. No, they kissed before, but I don't know. I don't know what that was, but definitely was not them dating. Suki and Sokka dated. You can't say Yue and him dated. They definitely had feelings for each other, obviously. I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they didn't have feelings for each other, but they were in a talking stage. It wasn't like official. But I guess I'm being like technical. I'm being a nerd. Let me stop nerding out right now.
Probably because he's the Avatar. He sees some strange little girl running through the trees and tries to catch her. Appa and Momo are still chilling in the river until they run into the swamp people, who make a terrible first impression.
Nothing to worry about, just fixing to eat you.
Which makes Appa do an instant 180 and swim away. This is when we see that the swamp people can also waterbend. So they waterbend the boats and chase Appa. Aang keeps chasing this little girl, but he ends up running into Katara and Sokka instead.
Yeah.
Cool.
But this episode is not that good. This episode, oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Most of the episodes before we get introduced to Toph in the second season, I feel like, besides the first episode was fire. Yeah, the first episode was fire in the second season, but every episode before Toph is introduced is kind of like underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. It's not bad because no episode in this show is bad, but it's like, you know, the replay value compared to the other episodes in the show is not there.
Future Earthbender teacher Toph. So the swamp is not only full of hillbillies, but plot spoilers too. Each of their visions led them to the heart of the swamp. A gigantic swamp monster pops up and starts throwing Sokka around. Katara and Aang hit this crazy combo and wear down the monster, but they soon realize it's not a monster, but just some dude bending the vines. So it turns out, this man is just trying to protect the swamp from the people that hurt it, like Sokka with his fat knife. He also reveals that the entire swamp is connected to one tree, and he uses it to say that the entire world is connected. And that's why the swamp shows you visions. So then Aang does some Avatar plot armor stuff and somehow sees exactly where Appa is by touching the tree. And Aang meets up with the swamp people, saves his bison, and they all have a cute little meal together. Also, Sokka is still convinced nothing strange is happening in the swamp, even after the weird visions and being grabbed by vines in the middle of the night. And also, nobody can explain the random storm that made them crash.
Yeah, that was never explained.
It ends with Zuko beating up that guy who was being a jerk in the beginning. I can kind of see why this episode is rated a lot lower than the rest of the show. Besides the foreshadowing for Toph and introducing the swamp benders, this episode really contributed nothing to the main plot of the series. It was kind of a filler episode. This episode also had really bad pacing and feels kind of slow.
I think, bro, I'm gonna make this prediction. I ain't watched this video before. The next two episodes he's gonna talk about, they're gonna be from season 2, and they're gonna be before Toph is introduced. Cause I'm not gonna lie, like that's literally most of the episodes in season 2 before Toph is introduced is literally filler. Cause I'm just thinking, I'm like, dang, bro, they could have definitely shortened the season if they had just immediately after the first episode when they told him that they were just gonna do it the traditional way rather than just trying to control Aang into the Avatar state, or when he's in the Avatar state. I thought they was immediately gonna introduce Toph or his earthbending teacher, basically, but they kind of just gave filler episodes, which I mean, it's cool because like it definitely made you grow more attached to the characters like Aang, Katara, and Sokka, and that's about it. I don't know if character development really happened like in those episodes. I think a lot of character development happened in season 3. You can definitely tell how different the characters were from season 1.
Episodes of the show. Besides that, though,
or how different the characters were in season 3 from season 1.
Pretty enjoyable to watch and had a pretty creepy atmosphere. And 7 stars really isn't that bad, but it's definitely not the best writing in the show. The second worst episode is Avatar Day with a rating.
Yep, I told you, bro. I know where this is going. I know where this is going. So he's gonna. I'm telling you, this is also season 2 before Toph, and yeah, Avatar Day. Again, Sokka hard carries this episode, and when I see this episode, I'm like, you know, I don't really. Well, I say I rewatch Avatar Day more than the Swamp because at least Aang was kind of funny in this episode, whereas like nobody was funny in the Swamp besides Sokka. But yeah, once again, Sokka hard carries this episode. Bro, look at his fro, bro.
All their stuff is still on the ground. Katara and Aang manage to get some of their stuff, but Sokka has to leave behind his boomerang, which is pretty sad. This is like his most favorite thing in the world. So they go to this shop and the guy says,
Happy Avatar Day.
but Aang has no idea what that is. They go to this local town and things aren't what they seem. Turns out the holiday isn't for celebrating the Avatar, but instead, it's literally a holiday for hating on the Avatar. Which, not to bash on Aang, but he's kind of cocky, so this is not going to be good. But apparently one of the past Avatars, Avatar Kyoshi, killed their old leader, which is why they hate the Avatar. Aang is obviously so upset that they think that he's a murderer, but he decides to stand trial for the crime to prove he is innocent. But instead he just ends up in jail since they can't pay bail. So Sokka decides to become the detective for Aang's case and wears his really ugly detective hat. So Sokka snoops around, but he can't find any evidence, except for a small footprint the village claims belongs to Kyoshi.
Yo, he really is summarizing the entire episode. That is crazy.
Until he sees that Kyoshi's shoes were way too big to have left the footprint at the temple. Not only does he find this, but also finds an alibi for Kyoshi the night of the murder. Aang also rants about his girl problems to the prisoners, who seem pretty cool. I mean, Aang literally looks just like him, since he's bald with...
Yo, bro, I low-key forgot about that. I be thinking that too. I'm like, bro, like, why do they look alike?
When it's time for Aang's trial, he completely messes up his defense. I have very large feet. Anyways, Katara has one desperate attempt to save Aang, calling Kyoshi as a witness. But it's just Aang in Kyoshi's clothes.
Hey everybody, Avatar Kyoshi here.
Kyoshi eventually does come out, except she literally confesses to the crime. Chin the Conqueror was trying to take over Kyoshi's village, which is why she stopped them and created.
I don't know why she would do that, bro. She didn't kill him, bro.
Right by the cliff and falls off. What an idiot.
Exactly, bro. You can't really say she killed him. More like she was just there when he died. If that makes sense. Like, she didn't kill him. Like, she didn't kill him. She was just there when he died. You feel me?
And the firebenders from the start of the episode show up to claim the town. The leader of the town changes Aang's sentence to community service and asks them to save their town. After everything, literally about to kill him, and now they're asking him to save a town. Aang, Katara, and Sokka fight off the invaders and successfully drive them away.
Yeah, another underwhelming ending. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna be all season 2 episodes before it's off.
Most Avatar episodes balance humor and drama pretty well. This one just kind of falls short, and the episode feels a lot more like a joke episode than something serious. The plot of the episode is also just weak. This episode would have felt better if they spent more time showing Kyoshi's backstory and Sokka's detective jokes. It's easy to see why this episode is one of the weaker ones of the series and leaves a lot to be desired. It's definitely a filler episode. And now, the worst Avatar episode of all time,
okay, it's gonna be interesting.
6.8 stars is The Great Divide. The episode
The Great Divide? Yo, low-key, is it worse than The Swamp? But I told you, bro. I ain't watched this, and I already knew, like, yeah, it was gonna be all the episodes in season 2 before it's off, besides episode 1. So they have other, bro. I'm telling you, bro. If I'm telling you, those are all the worst episodes. Like, those are all the worst episodes, because I bet you, like, the fourth worst episode in this show. Where's Avatar? Hold on. Avatar. Hold on. Oh yeah. Yeah, nah. Oh no, this was season 1. I'm tripping. This was season 1. This wasn't season 2. But the Cave of Two Lovers, I think it could have been there, but I understand because it makes the Aang and Katara romance develop, and then Return to Amashu, that tells us that Boomy, or like, he needs another Earthbending ending teacher. Okay, so I get it, but but wouldn't Tales of Ba Sing Se have to be there? Like, Tales of Ba Sing Se it's not bad. Again, it's just like, bro, like, that's definitely filler, bro. Like, it's a filler episode. Yeah, Tales of Ba Sing Se is a filler episode, bro. That is just more filler than the episodes he just said were filler to me. But yeah, this is season 1 though.
The gang camping near
I think a lot of episodes in season 1 you could say they're filler. You know what I'm saying? Like The Great Divide, because they went on a lot of like wacky adventures. The Great Divide, Hang on, I'm about to go through this list real quick. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm about to show. The Great Divide, maybe even a fortune teller could have been filler, to be honest. Oops. And yeah, I think the fortune teller definitely could have been filler as well, to be honest. Because what did you really need that for?
Sokka and Katara are arguing about whether or not they should put up a tarp until Aang.
But again, it was funny. I'm not gonna lie, the humor kind of like carries these, but the humor on this episode was ass. Like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, they're right. This might be the worst episode because Sokka did not hard carry this episode. I ain't gonna lie, this episode is kind of unbearable to get through. It's hard to get through this episode. I'm not gonna front. Like, most of the time, I'll be like doing something else when I'm watching this episode. Like, this episode is not gonna make me like put down whatever I'm doing and like pay attention. Like, there's not a lot of parts in this episode that's gonna make me do that. Like, maybe the beginning and then that's it. Then the rest of this is like, bro, who is this? Yo, I don't even want to watch the rest of this video because they just popped up on my screen.
The two groups clearly
So I'm not. But yeah, I get it.